me, fellas!
Alright, old school NBA fans, self-research, NBA facts. Got another video for you. As always, thanks to anybody who watches my videos, subscribes to my channel. I really appreciate it. In this video here, talking about teammate bench support and the best players of the last probably 45 years, because you can't differentiate between a starter or a bench player before 1977. You just can't. So I have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Hakeem Olajuwon, Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Tim Duncan, Steph Curry, Dr. J, and Moses Malone. That's basically my top 15 that would allow me to do it. So players like Will Chamberlain, Bill Russell, Jerry West, they're not going to be in here. So with no further ado, in order of the most support, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Kareem got 29 games from a teammate coming off the bench, getting him 20 or more points. And that only includes from 1977 to 1989, so just those 13 years. Out of 180 games, that's a 16.11% clip. That's about 1 out of every 6 games for Kareem. Must be nice. Then the next player is Dr. J. Dr. J had 22 such games of teammates getting him 20 or more coming off the bench. Out of 141 games, that's a 15.60% clip. Again, these are outstanding numbers to have somebody coming off the bench and doing this. Then we got Magic Johnson. Magic had 28 teammates do this out of 190 games for a 14.73 clip. That's about 1 out of every 7 games. Again, that's got to be great. You know, that's probably Michael Cooper, Bob McAdoo, so on and so forth. Then you got Moses Malone. Moses had 12 such games out of just 94 playoff games for a clip of 12.77%. Again, I wasn't able to do like the ABA of Moses Malone or Dr. J. But anyway, so that's about 1 out of every 8 games. You have a teammate coming off the bench getting you 20 or more. It must be nice. Next player is Larry Bird. Larry Bird had 17 teammates out of 164 games for a 10.37% clip. So that's about 1 out of every 9 games. Again, must be lovely. Steph Curry. Curry had 10 games like that, which that's not a ton. I would say this is the next tier of players right here. Out of 147 playoff games. That's a clip of 6.80%. That's about 1 out of every 15 to 16 games. Not a ton, but still better than some of these other guys. Next, you got LeBron James. He's pretty much right in the middle. 19 teammates out of 287 games for a 6.62% clip. Now, the thing about LeBron is he didn't just have 19 teammates get him 20 points. But a lot of the times, these guys came in and had high-impact games. Like this guy.
Play nominee, Cavaliers up 3. 21-year-old Gibson off the screen for 2. Make it 3. LeBron fired up. Gibson, a career playoff high 21 points.
2 games later, you just heard that was Daniel Gibson's career playoff high of 21 points in Game 4 of the 2007 Eastern Conference Finals, right? Well, 2 games later, in Game 6, Daniel Gibson went off.
Gibson for 3. Daniel Gibson. Here's Damon Jones. Daniel Gibson from downtown.
This guy's becoming a legend. Nobody had heard of him about 2 weeks ago.
Gibson for 3. Yes!
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Wow!
That's his third 3. He has 18 points. The Cavaliers lead by 6. And Flip Saunders wants to talk. Gibson open for three. Yes! Gibson for three. My goodness. That's 5 from downtown and a career high of 27 points for Daniel Gibson.
In that game, Game 6, 2007 Eastern Conference Finals, that's the series that people contend that LeBron James carried a bunch of bums. Well, I don't think that Larry Hughes, Drew Gooden, Zydrunas Ilgauskas, Daniel Marshall, I think Wally Zerbiak was on that team. I wouldn't say those guys, Eric Snow, these guys weren't exactly bums, okay? They were all decent players, and some of them were even all-stars, all defensive level players. Eric Snow was at one time, so was Larry Hughes. Ilgauskas, a two-time all-star. In fact, the year before, in 2006, Ilgauskas led the team in offensive rebounds. But in that game, Daniel Gibson scored 31 points on 9 shots. He carried the Cavs to the finals. Now, granted, the series as a whole, obviously LeBron James was, the MVP of the series. No getting around that. In Game 5, LeBron had the best game of his career, where he scored, 25 straight points and all that. Absolutely, no doubt about it. That set them up 3-2. That set them up for Game 6 and what Daniel Gibson did. So, yes, LeBron was the reason why they got to that point, but carried bums? No. Game 6, Gibson was the primary reason that went game. LeBron James went 3 for 11 in that game. 3 for 11. This guy's getting you 31 points on 9 shots. I'm just saying, I understand that, in 2 games in this series, he scored 52 points coming off the bench, which is just extraordinary. And I know he didn't do a whole lot more in his career, whatever, but still, you'll see there's players that had nothing even remotely close to this. So it seems like always in the most opportune times, this is what happens. In this game here, this is a finals game, and this guy does this.
To win the game, Derek Fisher and Nick Collison. Mike Miller has come on for Miami. Miller will try a three-pointer. That's good! Second three-pointer for Miami.
To get contact, just jump straight up and knock it in.
Harden and James battling off the ball. Miller will try another three. Back-to-back threes! Hadn't hit one all series, and here in Game 5 comes off the bench.
To keep the attacking style, it's the only turnover where you're double penalized as Miller lines up another three.
Mike Miller, 3 for 3 from downtown.
But I'd like to just see that be a turn. Takes the hit.
That has taken one for the team. That was a hard shot that he took. Shot clock down to 5. James kicks it out. Miller for 3. Bang! Mike Miller, 4 for 4 from downtown. And the Heat lead by 15. Miller for 3. Puts it in. Mike Miller, 5 for 5 from downtown. How many times in this quarter does Eric Spoelstra look up at the clock and wondering why it's not going quicker? Miller, another 3. 6 3-pointers from Mike Miller. Heat putting on a three-point clinic. 13 of 22. One shy of the most three-pointers made in a finals game. Miller tries it again. Bang! Mike Miller on fire. 7 3-pointers.
Yeah, you heard it right. 7 straight 3-point shots. 7. So, if you heard at the end of that clip, the guy said they shot 13 for 22 for 3. And after Miller made that shot, then they're 14 for 23. So, that was mostly Shane Battier and Mike Miller. Now, Battier, I believe, was starting, but Miller came off the bench and just lit it up like that. So, like I said, LeBron had nice bench players, coming up in high impact games, that kind of thing. And obviously Ray Allen in 2013, there was no bigger moment. Now, sure, Jordan had moments like that too with Paxson and Kerr, definitely, but not whole games like that. The next player on the list is Tim Duncan. Now, Duncan had 16 out of 251 playoff games for a 6.37% clip. So, he had help, but, it wasn't like Dr. J and Kareem and Magic kind of bench help. But it was still, pretty good help for the most part. He might not have had like one guy getting him 20, but he definitely had good bench help. Okay, then you got Hakeem Olajuwon. Olajuwon had 8 teammates in his 145 playoff games get him 20 or more points coming off the bench for a percent of 5.51. That's about 1 out of every 18 games. That's about 1 out of every playoffs, basically. Depending on how far you go, whatever. Then you got Shaquille O'Neal. He only ever had 6 teammates come off the bench and get him 20 or more out of 214 games. That's a percentage of 2.80. So now you're getting down there. You see what I'm talking about. Michael Jordan, in his 179 playoff games, four teammates got him 20 or more points. And unlike LeBron James, he didn't have high impact teammates. You know who the 4 games were? Michael Jordan's first playoff game ever, 1985 Milwaukee Bucks Game 1. Quentin Daly goes for 25 points. The Bulls lost, so it had no impact at all. The next time it happened, the next season, 1986 against Boston in the first round, Game 3, the closeout game. John Paxson goes for 20. He was coming off the bench. Well, guess what? They got beat. They got crushed. They couldn't stop the front court. They ran wild on him in that game. That was always the Bulls' problem. The next time it happened was in 1988 in the second round against Detroit. Game 5, another closeout game. Horace Grant, who was coming off the bench, he was a rookie then, 20 points. They got beat. No impact at all. Again, and these are all first round game. Well, that one was second round. And the last one was 1998, the first round, Game 3 against New Jersey. The Bulls were in the midst of sweeping them in 3. Scott Burrell has a career game and goes for 23 points. The Bulls won, obviously, but do you really think they needed Burrell and his 23 points? No. The reason why Burrell got 23 points is because it was a blowout. That's a guy he wasn't like the 6th man or the 7th man. No, he was like the 9th or 10th man. So the only reason he was getting so much playing time because it was a blowout. Okay, so the last player on the list who even had less help than Jordan was Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant had 4 teammates out of 200 games. That's a 2% clip. 4 got him 20 or more points. And the only high impact game it was, he did have one. 2008 Game 3 Finals against Boston, Sasha Vujovic goes for 20 points. That was the biggest high impact bench game that Kobe Bryant ever got. So again, when you look at all these different angles, I mean, I've done videos about so many different angles because of trying to, build something that people can look back on and say, hey, this is what happened with this and this person did this. Almost everyone you see, Jordan did not have that kind of help. He always did good against the best players, the best teams, so on and so forth. I mean, it's always Jordan is at the top or, in this case, the bottom, like the least amount of help. Always, and Kobe is always near it as well. So I just think these are things, all this stuff needs to be taken into consideration. You can't just look at one thing, look at all of it. So anyway, that's all I got for this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, please hit the like button. If you wouldn't mind sharing the video, that would be great. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do. I've been given daily content. And anyway, that's it. Until next time.